Greetings, eaters, and welcome to my kitchen in sort of sunny but super windy Las Vegas today. It's officially fall, which is cool. I love fall here. I love fall in Washington. There's a lot less rain with fall here. I think it sprinkled a little bit this morning. Not that I got to see it at all, but in any case, the temperatures are in the 50s though, so that means I want fall food. I've been doing a lot of fall food this month. I think we're going to do about 3 weeks of soup in a row, maybe more, because I just love soup, and I mean, not being a coffee drinker and being from the Seattle area, that is what warms my soul. So, so far, I think we've got, in the can, we've got cabbage roll soup with my oldest daughter. We've got lasagna soup with my middle daughter. This week you get matzo ball soup with me, and I think I'm going to also do tortilla chicken soup as well. So a lot of soups coming up here. I was going to try and get a turkey done before Thanksgiving, but honestly there's a turkey shortage, so the turkey episode is going to be filmed on Thanksgiving, I think, and some of my kids will be here to help with that, so that'll be nice. We always like to have the kids here. So it'll be a lot of fun. So as far as restaurant recommendations go this week, last night I got invited out to an evening with some friends. A buddy who lived here and moved away came back to visit, and a bunch of us who were friends with him got to meet up, and someone chose a great Greek restaurant called Meraki, which has several locations around here. They just opened one literally a mile from me next to the Albertsons, where I do a lot of my shopping, and honestly I could take or leave Greek food most of the time. I mean, it's okay, I don't love it, but again, it's okay, I'm going to eat it, my wife loves it. And we went there, really best Greek food I've probably ever had. It was just so good. Everything I ate was better than the last, and I mean, I'll be back there quite a bit. So Meraki, if you live in the Las Vegas area, fantastic stuff. So anyway, let's get right to it. So your prep time on this is going to be on par with what we usually do. You'll be probably doing about, well, less than a half-hour prep, but it's broken into 2 sessions because we have to get the chicken cooking, and then we make the matzo balls as it comes to the end, and we have to shred the chicken to be in the soup. So what we have, before we get into that, we should look at shoes. Today's shoes are Vans, as they often are. These are waterproof Vans, which I didn't even know existed, since I never bought my first Vans till I got down here. And as I mentioned, I rarely ever wore tennis shoes in Washington. I usually wore boots in the winter and sandals in the summer. But now that I've discovered the joy of Vans, I mean, these are kind of cool black and yellow ones. I got them on sale at one of the Vans outlets, and they are apparently waterproof, so I could have had them in Seattle, and I missed out on that. So, all right, let's get right to it. So, I'm going to do this bit by bit here. We have 1 chicken purchased in a 2-pack at Costco. So, I also have some water boiling, so I'm going to grab that. Alright, this is steaming in my face, but it is a 12-quart stock pot. And I have filled it about halfway full of water, which I started boiling. So we're going to take our chicken, our whole chicken, and we're going to put it in the pot. Alright, chicken goes in. Okay, so 1 whole chicken. And then we're going to put carrots. So I have baby carrots today. If you're using full-size carrots, maybe use a couple of them. I probably cut up a couple dozen of these, and just, you know, just that size. So that's going in there. And again, it doesn't have to be exact. So then we have celery. So 6 stalks of this. So that goes in. And then we have an onion. So I cut up 1 onion, 1 medium-sized onion, that's going in. And then we have, of course, garlic, because garlic is awesome. So I'm just going to take 1 enormous handful, and then I'm going to take another enormous handful because I love garlic. So in goes the garlic. All right, set this stuff out of the way. And then we have our chicken bouillon. I'm using these cubes today. I mean, use whatever kind of chicken soup base that you would like. You can use chicken stock, I guess. I think that's a waste of money because you're making chicken stock, and this is just to kind of enhance it with the vegetables. You need 1/3 of a cup of chicken bouillon. So that's about 8 of these cubes. It's about 16 of the regular size bouillon cubes. Or you can just get the powder, and that works pretty well. So there's that stuff. Then Mrs. Dash. I like Mrs. Dash. It's not salt. It's salt substitute, but it's like dried out herbs and spices, and tastes great. So I'm gonna put a good shake of that in there. I'd say probably about 1/8 of a cup. Then we need get some black pepper. So I'm just gonna, again, shake a little bit in there. I'd say probably about a tablespoon, maybe a little less. Bay leaves. I have a bay leaf bush in my backyard, but I'm going to use these. So I'm going to use probably about 3 of them. 3 is probably a good amount. And then Italian seasoning, again, probably about maybe a little more than a tablespoon. But it doesn't have to be exact. I'm just shaking it in there. Okay? And then along with that, I mean, I am the Obesity Sherpa, and this is what I like. We're putting a little of this in here, not enough to make it hot, just enough to add some flavor. Not so, I know I've done too much if my wife complains about the heat. So there we go. I'm just putting 1 squeeze in there. And this is going on to the range on medium-high heat, probably it's going to go for about an hour. So this is going on right now. Crack the lid on there and let that do its thing. So after an hour, we're going to come back and we're going to assemble the matzo balls. Now, if you've been to a Jewish deli and had their golden noodle matzo ball soup, there's noodles in there too. So I'm just going to throw in I'm going to do some egg noodles. I'm going to cook them separately. I always cook my noodles separately with soup because if you just cook them in the soup, they just turn to mush, and I don't really like that, which I'm sure I've covered before. But you can use any kind of noodles that you like. I've got these egg noodles. I'm going to use these. And then the matzo balls are basically, you can buy this matzo meal. I bought this on Amazon. Delivered right to my door. Just follow the instructions and we'll go through it. So I'm going to start making the matzo ball mix because it needs to actually chill for about 20 minutes before we start assembling it. So what we have here, like I said, this, and actually there's instructions for making the matzo balls right on the back of it, and I haven't fooled around with that recipe at all. So I'm going to make, I'm quadrupling the size here because I'm making a bunch of this. I'll probably end up sharing it with somebody. So what we've got here are 8 eggs, and we're going to go ahead and beat those together. And then 2 cups of matzo meal, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, just any kind you like. I suppose you can probably use canola as well. So we're just going to kind of mix this together. Once it starts to thicken, I'm going to swap out my whisk for a spoon. As it starts to come together, I'm going to add in, you can use chicken stock. I've got just bouillon, so I'm going to do about 1/2 cup of this. So this is a full cup, I'm going to do about half of it. So I'm going to probably end up chilling this for about 40 minutes, but you need to chill it for at least 20. All right, so that's ready to go. It's going to end up looking like that. There you go. And I'm going to pop this in the fridge until it's ready to finish assembling it. So, you can, since I boil my noodles separately, I'm going to go ahead and put my noodles on to boil as well, because they don't have to, I mean, you can prep those whenever you want. You're just going to throw them into the hot soup at the end. So I'm going to just I'll probably put several handfuls. I mean, you can use as much as you want. It's your discretion. You don't even have to use the noodles. I just prefer it with the noodles. So that's going in the pot to boil right now. Let's pop it right in the fridge. Okay, soup is done. Well, actually that's not accurate. Stock is done. So we're going to pluck the chicken out of it. And we're going to let that rest for a few minutes and cool off enough so that I can debone the chicken. Then we're going to take, and because as I said, I prefer my chicken stock to not have the chunks, or my chicken soup, we're going to blend it up. So got our hand blender here, emulsion blender, immersion blender, call it what you like. So now we're going to roll our matzo balls. So the deal with these is that we want them to be not too tight, but tight enough to kind of hold together. I've rolled them really tight before, and it just gets to be too much. So what you want to do is go around the size of a golf ball, maybe a little bit bigger. Just drop them in there. We've rolled our matzo balls. That took about 3 minutes. This is going to go back on medium-high heat for about 20 minutes. While the matzo balls have been cooking, I deboned my chicken. I prefer the white meat myself, so we're going to go with the white meat. If you want the dark meat, that's great. Do whatever you like. So here's a little trick that I learned a while ago. If you're making a casserole, making a salad, whatever, if you have prepared chicken, whether you cook a whole chicken or just chicken breast or thighs, whatever, cook your meat, put it in your stand mixer, give it a spin, and voila, shredded chicken or casserole or soup or whatever. Now, one other thing I wanted to add right now, this is just finishing up. You notice I didn't put salt in. Excuse me, I didn't put salt in the beginning here. You're supposed to add salt at the end to maximize its flavor and put less salt. Now, obviously, there's salt in chicken soup base, but I'm going to just add another tablespoon or so of it to the broth as the matzo balls are cooking, and that will just add a little extra flavor to it. And I'm going to go ahead and add this in there to finish cooking with it. Everything's ready, so let's go ahead and assemble this thing. So, we're going to start with our noodle. Here is what the matzo balls look like. So, just looks like a big white meatball, sort of like that. So that's what they look like when they're done cooking. These have again simmered in the chicken broth for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put a few of these right in here. So at this point, and this is the part where you can argue over whether or not this constitutes authentic matzo ball soup or not. If you're going to do Jewish deli, they usually top it off with some schmaltz. Schmaltz is liquid chicken fat. I feel like there's plenty of that came from the chicken that I simmered in this pot, so I think we're okay. I'm not going to use that, but this is what she looks like. All right, there you go. Fall food chicken matzo ball soup right there. So this is sometimes known as Jewish penicillin. If you are sick, this will make you feel better. As will pho, if you want to explore the Asian side of things. Whenever my family's not feeling well, they want either this or pho. Also want to point out that if you're just making straight chicken soup, follow this recipe and don't make the matzo balls. Maybe use a more interesting kind of pasta than the extra white egg noodles, but that is how you make just basic chicken soup right there. So, apologies to our guest, Jimmy Kimmel. We are not going to make matzo ball squirrel this week. Maybe we will see him next week. I don't know. Heard he was in town for his comedy club again, so never know if he'll show up or not. But please like and follow us on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Rumble. Our main channel is YouTube. Please follow us for more content. Please share this with your friends. If you attempt any of these recipes, please take pictures and tag us in them. But I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes because it's crazy hot right now, and as soon as it cools off, I'm going to eat it. But again, this is fall food for me. I mean, it doesn't get more fall food than this. I mean, if I had some apple pie to chase this with, that would be pretty awesome, but I don't. Maybe soon. My wife's talking about making some. But again, thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep on eating.